Whitetail expert Ron Spomer is prowling the fertile, buck-laden hills of eastern Washington's Palouse country.
We're going to hunt that transition zone between the rolling wheat fields and the deep, brushy canyons.
There's one. He's got a double throat patch, man. That might be that big buck. Let me get on him. You ready? Shoot for 418. Let her rip. All right.
Yeah, you never had it?
Maybe the phone. There's this buck.
Dead deer. That's a nice little rock on here. Beautiful.
Winchester's World of Whitetail.
Winchester's World of Whitetail is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Ram. There are a lot of places to go in this big wide world, and the new Ram Outdoorsman can get you to every one of them. Cabela's, celebrating 50 years as the world's foremost outfitter. Bushnell, magnify life. Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation, education, and ethical hunting worldwide. Mossy Oak, it's not a passion, it's an obsession. And by Otis Technologies, the most advanced gun care systems in the world.
The whitetail's world is wide and deep, surprisingly diverse. We think of them in Iowa cornfields, Carolina swamps, Pennsylvania hardwood forest, but whoever thinks of whitetails in Washington state? You might want to start because the Evergreen State has not only volcanoes and rainforests, it has elk and moose, mountain goats and mule deer, and whitetails. A surprising number of big whitetails. Eastern Washington's Palouse country south of Spokane are miles and miles of rolling loess hills that are piled up with 200 feet of topsoil, some of the richest wheat farming ground in North America. Although whitetails have spread deep into the Palouse, this was their original habitat, these deep canyons that flow out of those Idaho mountains. They're following those up into the wheat, but boy, when they want to go to bed and hide from somebody, they're back in these steep canyons. We're going to hunt that transition zone between the rolling wheat fields and the deep, brushy canyons.
Before this opening day hunt, Ron and longtime hunting buddy, Kirt Fredericks, scouted out a big buck they're hoping to find just one more time when it counts.
It's warming up, man. I left half my stuff back in my pack. You find anything else?
Yep, I got another one.
Yeah, where is he?
He's straight across the canyon.
All right.
See the rock cliff?
Yeah.
The big pine tree, the big lone pine. He's right at the base of it.
The same one where he was yesterday?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he's got pretty nice spread on him.
I'm gonna give him 135.
Look at that trail that leads up to that tree from the other one. See that horizontal deer trail?
Yeah.
I bet he walks that thing every day. Yeah, they can sit up there like a sheep and look down on trouble.
Yeah, and that's the way I've always found them here. They're gonna be a third to halfway down, and then they're gonna, they can go any direction they want.
That is pretty sweet. If he's back here 2 days in a row and he's got that trail going right along there, he's probably back every day. We can kind of hold him in reserve. You know, today's optics are so incredibly sharp and bright. A large part of the reason is the anti-reflection coatings that they put on the lenses. But you can defeat all of that if you've got dirty lenses. The trick to cleaning optics is to keep it quick and light and don't grind or polish your lenses. So use a little camel hair brush just to get a little bit of the dust and grit off the surfaces. Then if you've got considerable grime, say fingerprints on there, use a little bit of spray and lightly hit the ends and then gently lift it off with your polishing cloth. Don't press and grind. It's better to clean it 3 or 4 times lightly than 1 time hard.
Kirt, here's what we're gonna do.
We're going to get down to Crash Hollow.
Okay. That's where we were this morning.
Kurt and I are going to get out of the Jeep.
Okay.
Dick's going to drive the Jeep up to the switchback, put you in a stand called the View to a Kill.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
View to a Kill.
View to a Kill. There's a very deep drainage here. Kurt will come up the right side. I'm going to come up the left, and hopefully we can pull.
So we're pretty much on opposite sides of the draw?
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is it. Crash Hollow, pretty cool. Skeets has all of his little trails and blinds named, which is, you know, a pretty practical little measure that makes it a lot easier than saying, you see that big rock on the hillside by that dead snag?
There's a lot of different ways to hunt in eastern Washington. This particular place is kind of special because it's about 1,300 acres. The owner has spent an awful lot of time and energy and money building this place up.
Our deer population has come back dramatically simply because we moved the 400 head of cattle that were in about 2 miles of riverbed. We've allowed all the grass to come back and regenerate itself, and our river is flowing clear, and the deer have come back dramatically.
I'm going to guess in a good year there's probably 300 deer in the valley, and you've just got a number of ways to hunt them, most of which is going to be spot and stalk and a lot of long-range glassing across canyon.
Check out that hillside. Look for my opening, so if he comes running through there suddenly, I have a pretty good idea. There's a good shot right through there at about 150 yards, and then there's a good hole there. Man, this is a huge canyon. Pretty dense forest on one side, and then those open hot slopes on the other. And of course, we're finding lots of deer on those open slopes. There could be just as many deer or more in the thick, but the fact that there are whitetails on those hot, barren slopes under those rocks is just fascinating. No, too small. Next year you'll be good.
Rough country, tough shots, big bucks, and lady luck. Ron aims to put it all together and bag his Washington whitetail.
That might be that big buck.
Next. Ron Spomer is on the loose in eastern Washington's Palouse country, where he's looking to take aim at a big buck. Ron always hits the shooting range before every hunt to make sure his rifle is on target. In this installment of Going Ballistic, Ron suggests a tip that'll help keep your aim steady.
Here's a fairly common problem that bugs the heck out of me and probably you too. You get to your hunting camp and you realize there's really no sandbags to sight in your rifle with. And if you don't keep that rifle steady, you don't know if you pulled the shot or if the rifle's inaccurate or if you need to change your sights. What do they usually give you? Well, probably a sleeping bag or a pillow or some clothing, which sounds pretty good in theory, but when you actually try it, you discover it's too springy and your rifle bounces up and down. I like to search around for something a little more closely resembling a sandbag. In this case, I found a little bit of dog food in a bag. Now that's pretty solid right there. So just use whatever materials are at hand to get things steady. You want that rifle as steady as possible so you know how it's shooting, not necessarily how you are making a mistake. Winchester's new Power Max bonded bullets are really quite effective because, of course, they're chemically bonded, lead core to the metal jacket, and that gives excellent terminal performance. They've also proven quite accurate in my Model 70 rifle, and when you're shooting potentially out to 400 yards, you want a darned accurate bullet. This guy's doing it for me, so we're going to use it on this trip. Kurt's gone up the road to check another area. We'll see if we can't find somebody big enough to go after here before it gets dark. Probably have maybe an hour yet. What have you got?
I think this is a different one. I don't think this is the one from this morning. He's really high. He's got 5 on the right side, 4 on the left.
Where is he?
We'll see the log laying down, the dead log and the root balls.
The 2 big logs?
Yep. He's the top log.
Well, that's where that big 4x was this morning, that 5.
I don't think it's the same one.
Look. Oh, he's tall. His main beams just go quick.
Yep.
That is just like a classic mule deer bedding spot. Dry rocky hillside above with some logs and stumps like that. His left side has got, he would have 5 if he had a brow, but there's nothing there. I don't know if he broke it off. I don't even see a nub or a bump or anything.
He's got a G4.
He's got a double throat patch, man. That's cool. That's pretty rare. But I don't want to take him yet in the first day. See, he doesn't have any brow ties. He's not going to score for beans. And he's, I mean, I think he's a 3-year-old deer.
I think I have to love the hunt and the joy, the camaraderie,
I'm enjoying,
the male
man.
bonding.
No, I don't know about the male bonding part, but I'm having fun. This is definitely the fun of the hunt. It's okay, there's this buck. There's that one up there.
Ron and Kirt are on the bucks, but they're holding out for the buck, the big one that keeps every hunter dreaming big and pushing hard.
You know, the funny thing, when we're hunting and watching these deer move over these surprisingly dry slopes, they're doing quite a bit of feeding. And even though we've got all these dry pine needles and grass on the hillsides that are of no nutritional value, there's a lot of brush up here. Even though it's fairly sparse, they're just going along and nipping off the last green little leaves off of these things. They're not just out in those ag fields eating alfalfa and wheat. As they're moving back in, they'll feed on the native brush. It's got something they like, so don't overlook it. It's an important food source.
Come on, Frodo, we got a deer with your name on it. It's getting light.
Kirt, I can't find my rifle.
It's in the truck.
You got it already?
I got it in the
How
truck.
about those shooting sticks?
They're in the truck.
Shooting sticks.
Your tee's in the truck. The crumpets are in the truck. We
Gas
got
in the
everything
truck?
in the truck.
Gas
Yeah,
in
we
the
got
truck?
gas in the truck. We're good. We started early in the morning. We were on the west side of the canyon. We set up in anticipation of these deer coming out of some alfalfa field, heading back to the canyon.
I see a couple does now down against that yellow grass. It's getting light enough. Mine's a doe. What have you got?
This one's maybe a fifth of the way down.
Where are you looking?
I think it's a buck, but I think I'm just trying to make it.
Where's he from that big central tree?
You see these? You see the shale slide going up?
Got it.
At the 3 fingers?
Yeah, yeah.
He's right up the center finger.
Up to center finger. But look to the right of him. There's another one coming out from behind that pine tree. He's not the biggest one we saw the other day, but he's big. Big enough to shoot. Got one brow. Yeah, he's got 2 brow tines. Get that spotty scope on. Get that spotty scope. That I saw when he turned against that grass. I'm sure I saw it past his ears. That might be that big buck. I'm gonna get on him.
He's got.
His G4s
I
are
think
beautiful.
he's got 10 or 11 inch. His left G4 is a little shorter, but they're 6 or 7.
Okay, what's the range, buddy? Okay, he's just above the rocks. He's just getting onto him.
419.
Okay,
Super
I'm gonna hold
418.
one body over him.
Hang on.
My trajectory.
All right, let her rip.
All right, we got him. All right, Kirt. I'm gonna hold the body over him. You ready?
Shoot for 418. Let her rip. Bingo.
Can't see him. It's all fogged up.
Dead center in the shoulder. Left shoulder. He's moving left.
Do I need you to give him another one?
He's hobbling. He's hobbling. He's going down. Good job. Let's go check this thing out.
You mean we have to walk all the way over there?
I think this is going to take a lot longer to get there than you think it will.
I know it
And
will.
thanks for shooting him across the court.
Uh-oh, there's a deer up here. Oh yeah, that's a nice 145. He might make 150. I can't believe he didn't break any tines off. But he doesn't.
Inside broad time is going, huh?
Yeah, he never had it. I didn't think he had it. That's why I didn't want to shoot it, but he made me. Oh, that's nice.
One of the things Ron can do is shoot. He's an exceptional shot. I think we lasered it at 418.
I should have held up for the big one.
That was the big one. 3 5 points, 2 4 points.
You would have shot him if I hadn't, wouldn't you?
With his Washington State trophy on the ground and plenty of good-natured ribbing to go around, Ron's hunt is complete, but there's more to come. Coming up next, Ron and Kirt team up to get Skeets on a Palouse country corker of his own.
Take your time, don't jerk, just squeeze it off nice and easy under the chin.
Winchester's World of Whitetail is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Ram. There are a lot of places to go in this big wide world, and the new Ram Outdoorsman can get you to every one of them. Cabela's, celebrating 50 years as the world's foremost outfitter. Bushnell, magnify life. Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation, education, and ethical hunting worldwide. Mossy Oak, it's not a passion, it's an obsession. Otis Technologies, the most advanced gun care systems in the world. And by Mule Deer Foundation, leader in mule deer and black-tailed deer conservation.
You know, it takes a real rifle nut to enjoy cleaning his rifles. If you've got one of these handy Otis kits, you might as well get that gun cleaned. Handy little kit like this where you can pull it out and clean things up in a hurry at a lunch break really could save your day. I like on a dirty barrel to sort of pump it back and forth and scrub it a little bit. Give it a good little brushing like that and let it soak for a while before you come back with your bronze brush to really scour it out.
As evening falls in these eastern Washington hills, the team doubles back on the hot spots they found a few days before, this time on a mission to help Skeets wrap his hands around 2 heavy main beams.
Hey, there's a buck. There's a buck going right up that grass by the pines, up on that side of the rock slide. He looks pretty good. He looks pretty good. Oh, that's that same one we put to bed the other night. The one that you wanted me to shoot in the bed with the white throat. That's the same one. He's going up behind that log.
Got 4, 5 on the left. That's the same deer.
That's the same deer. He's gonna bed behind that log, I think.
I don't think he's gonna bed.
Yep, he was going down. Clunk, he went down. He bedded right behind that big dead log. Hey, let's get Skeets. That's a good deer. Let's go get him. Remember that white-throated big 4x5 we were telling you about? We saw him bed behind a big log up here. It's just down here a ways. You can't see him because there's trees in your way, but he's up there where he was bedded the other day. Okay, let me think. Okay, Skeets, you see that line of pine trees going up, and it gets under the rock face?
I'm just gonna glass him.
Yeah, take a look. You can just see that white stump sticking out in the end. He's behind it. We need to clear him. We're gonna have to go down that way. You better get in front. Get your shooting sticks ready to go. And be in front. We're getting close. You can use them. Let him use those. Start easing out and keep your eye open. And when you see him, set up, and then I'll come in behind you and try to get him in the scope. Can you see him, Skeets? Let me get behind with the spotter. You're shooting a little bit uphill, so you need to aim low, about 6 inches. Okay? Under his nose. Can you see his black nose? Okay, aim 6 inches under it because there's just a little bit of grass in his chest there. Now your bullet will go right into his brisket chest under the neck. There's enough of an uphill angle. We'll get a little bit of bullet rise here. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Whenever you're cozy, take your time. Don't jerk. Just squeeze it off nice and easy under the chin. 6 inches down. Dead deer.
Good night.
Stay there in case he gets up or something. Sometimes on those neck shots, they'll get stunned, so just be ready to take him if he gets up, but I don't think he's going to.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
He's just still. I think that's an instant funeral. Okay, I think we're safe.
I think we're safe. Good job.
Oh, yeah. That was just a great shot.
The deer was so ensconced, it virtually seemed impossible that we'd even get a shot at him, much less see him. Fortunately, hit him 3 or 4 inches below his mouth and spined him, and it was the end of a very, very successful hunt.
I can't think of any place in the country where I've hunted where you can do this. You glass up on an open rocky slope like that, find a deer, and he beds in the same place every time, and then you can decide which one to go after. That is so cool. That double white throat patch is so rare. I don't know what the percentage of the buck population is that has it, but it's really small. That is a trophy in itself.
The world of whitetail in Washington state proved to be quite fascinating. Imagine finding these animals on these dry, rocky hillsides. I'll tell you what, with deer aficionados like Skeets Dunn managing properties like this, whitetails in Washington are going to be an ever bigger thing. Join us next time on The World of Whitetail.